Happy fall, friends! I am back with a fall leaf watercolor tutorial. You will need some basic watercolor supplies including watercolor paper, a palette, some paint, some brushes, a cup of water, and a paper towel. I am first going to sketch out the outline of my leaves, and I realized I needed to make it a little bit darker for it to show up on this video. I just pulled up some leaf images on Google for some inspiration. Feel free to use whatever colors you would like, but these are the colors that I will be using today, and I have listed the names below. I am using a Paulina Bright round watercolor brush size 0, and I love her brushes. They are an investment, so I only have a couple, but I'm hoping to continue to build my collection. I am going to do the wet on wet technique, and I have a whole video on different watercolor techniques that I've linked below in the description if you want more direction, but basically you want to wet your paper so it has a glistening shine, but water isn't running off or pooling on the paper. I am then going to paint the entire leaf with yellow ochre as a base. And while it is still wet, so you have to work fairly quickly, I am going to paint the edges with a light red and then phthalo red and a raw umber. And you'll notice because my leaf is still wet and I'm bringing in colors from a wet brush, they blend pretty effortlessly. I will come back once the leaf is dry to do the veins of the leaf, but in the meantime we'll move on to the next leaf, and again I'll use the wet on wet technique, and this time I'm only going to wet half of the leaf so I don't have to worry about it drying too quickly. I am going to start with phthalo red as the base and then bring in Alizarin Orange and then some light red on the edges, and you're going to repeat this for the other half of the leaf. If you want your colors to blend a little bit more, feel free to dip your brush in your water. This will mute your colors a little bit more by adding water. So if you want your colors to be a little bit darker, don't add as much water. But you'll notice I am bringing in water to kind of blend that kind of middle area that I painted earlier to make it more seamless. The base of my leaf is still fairly wet, so the colors that I'm putting on top are blending really nicely. For the last leaf, again, I'm going to do the wet on wet technique with a base color of the yellow ochre again, and then down the center I am going to use Chromium oxide green. I'm also going to create the veins of the leaf with the Chromium oxide green, and then I'm also going to go around the edges with the green as well and pull in a little bit more water to help with blending the yellow ochre and this green color. I love painting fall leaves because it really is errorless. The shapes and the color combinations are endless, so you really can't go wrong, and the wet on wet technique of watching the colors flow and blend together is just so satisfying and relaxing. Once the leaves are dry, you are going to come back in with a smaller brush and some light red and create the veins on the first two leaves. And for this part, I really used a minimal amount of water and paint to create the veins of these leaves. I then added a shadow under each of the leaves, and that really helped them become a little bit more realistic. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and make sure to subscribe and comment below if you have any questions or suggestions on what else we should paint together. Thank you so much.